Well, good afternoon and good morning. Thanks for spending some time with me to learn more about e-commerce and more specifically about commercebuild. My name is Stephen Midgley. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for commercebuild. Some of you may have known us as XM Developments or Sage e-commerce, same company, but in 2019 we went through a bit of a rebrand. For those who had registered thinking that Travis Taylor, our VP of Sales, is going to present, we just switch things up a little bit, and I'll be doing this session. And on this session, we're going to cover a number of topics. We're going to talk about the rise of B2B e-commerce. And we're going to spend a bit of time talking about B2B e-commerce and talk a little bit about the impacts that we're seeing from our perspective and sort of general industry changes. We'll talk a bit about commercebuild and the solutions portfolio that we can offer you. Talk about customer success as well. We'll talk about how we can get you from today to a fully integrated e-commerce solution in 60 days. And I'll walk through that process at the end of the session. And then at the end, there will be time for questions. And I'll have my contact info as well at the end. So if you come up with questions after the session, please feel free to reach out to me. So B2B e-commerce, often when we think e-commerce, we think B2C or business to consumer, not necessarily business to business. And in fact, all of us are embracing technology. And likely over the holiday season, you made online purchases. It was more efficient. It saved time. It was more convenient. And there are a lot of things that maybe you noticed or didn't notice about how that e-commerce experience happened. But one thing is for sure, buying online is much more convenient and easier than sort of trudging out to the malls and trying to deal with all those crowds. So, but what we are seeing is that B2B e-commerce or business-to-business e-commerce is increasingly a growing component of any organization's go-to-market strategy. And it's really changing how you need to think about your business. And so whether you have an e-commerce solution today, maybe it's not integrated, whether you are thinking about e-commerce, what's really important to note is that your clients and customers are thinking about e-commerce because, like you, they're using e-commerce in their daily lives. And so you will see more and more of your client base looking to be able to transact with you online. And what we're seeing is we're seeing some significant sort of changes in the rapid growth of B2B. So by 2023, we expect the North American B2B e-commerce market to be worth 1.8 trillion. So that's twice the size of the North American B2C e-commerce market, and accounts for 17% of all B2B sales. And so what we're seeing is very quickly B2B e-commerce will outgrow and outpace B2C e-commerce. So what's driving this growth? What are we seeing this rapid growth? What's driving e-commerce growth in the B2B market in North America, but around the world? Well, first, 80% this is a survey from Forrester of mid-sized businesses in North America. 80% of companies believe customer expectations should change due to B2C practices. So what we're seeing is business to consumer, or B2C, is really that tip of the spear. And so when we buy online as consumers, whether it be Amazon or Chapters here in Canada, what we see is that experience. We want to have that same experience in the B2B space. And so because most of us shop online or bank online, we're comfortable with technology. And so we expect our B2B businesses to be able to provide the same level of transactional service online. 46% of B2B companies expect more than half of their customers to be buying online by 2021. So by the end of next year, half of B2B companies expect that more than half of their customers will be buying online. So if you don't have an e-commerce solution today, or you have a non-integrated solution, we'll talk about that in a minute, you really need to start thinking about how do you embrace this technology. And really, technology can be a scary proposition mean, we know that projects can go over budget over time, and so how do we ensure that how do you ensure that embracing technology doesn't disrupt your business? And finally, another element that's driving this rapid B2B e-commerce growth is that 42% of B2B companies experience increased average order value and conversion rates online. And one of the key drivers for that, and you will have seen this if you've done online shopping, is people who bought X also bought Y. It allows you to be able to buy related products. You're able to rank products. You're able to push inventory. Maybe you have excess stock of a certain product. You can push that online. It allows often people to group products together. And how often do you go online to buy a product and you come away with a shopping cart that's got 3 or 4 products? This is the nature of online and the convenience factor of buying online. And underlying all this sort of growth is this millennial factor. So those who were born 1980 to 1997-ish, they're becoming moving into positions of authority, moving into positions of decision making, and because they've grown up with technology, they have a high degree or high propensity to use technology in their business, and so they're expecting to be able to buy online. And the reality is, if you don't offer that service, there's a good chance they're going to go somewhere else. 38% of people surveyed by Forrester completed half or more of their total sales online in 2018. So we're seeing a pretty significant growth in terms of utilization of the online channel, and that will only continue to grow as more and more customers of your customers expect to be able to purchase online. So looking at the B2B landscape more broadly, what we're seeing is e-commerce is this disruptive technology. It's changing how we interact. It's changing how businesses interact with customers, with partners, and with employees. So the interaction is not just external facing, but it's also internal facing. It's how you engage with employees, and it's changing how your clients want to interact with you. E-commerce allows customers to personalize the experience, and it really is changing every industry. There is no industry, big or small, that is not being touched by e-commerce or more broadly by technology. So first and foremost, whether you're ready or not, your business is undergoing this digital transformation. And why digital is an important term here, the real key is transformation. This is the key word because it is a mind shift. It's a shift in how business is being conducted. It's a shift in how your customers and partners interact with you, and more importantly, how they expect to interact with you. We'll talk about this in a little bit later, but we have clients that are processing upwards of 70% of their business online. And that allows them to free up staff to work on other initiatives within their business. So this transformation is happening. We've all seen it. A great example in our daily lives is just the rise of streaming technology. I'm sure all of us and all of you on this call have Netflix or HBO or Disney Channel. Maybe you got that for your kids. And what we're seeing is it's changing how we consume information. So think about Netflix and think about the fact that you will watch a show and you can, what they call binge watch and watch 3 or 4 episodes at one time. You don't have to wait for next week's episode. So it's changing how we consume information, how we consume content. And it's a gradual shift, but it's also rapid. And so technology is dramatically transforming how we collect information, how we gather information. I often say that Google is the bridge between idiocy and intellect. You can quickly go to Google, do a quick search, and learn a lot about a topic very quickly. And so we're seeing this transformation happening to all facets of business, including yours. And so what we find ourselves now is this sort of dawn of a new digital reality. And it's a little bit of a buzzword, but it is what it is. And we see this consumerization of your customers has happened as business to consumer, B2C, drives digital behavior and expectations in the B2B marketplace. Think about the reality of technology and e-commerce. Your customers are more informed than ever before. Think about 20 years ago, which is not long ago. 20 years ago, you're going to buy a car, you would walk on a lot, and that sales rep would have more information than you about the various features and add-ons for that vehicle. But today, you can do your research online and know as much, if not more, than that sales rep. So your customers know what they want before they engage. They're highly informed, more informed than ever before, and they have high expectations on usability and influenced by social. One of the Arguably one of the downsides of technology is that we've all got adult onset ADHD, attention deficit. Attention is very limited. It used to be that people would spend hours looking at stuff. If that page takes more than a second to download, that's not an eternity. And because we all use technology, whether it's smartphones or tablets, we have an eye for design. As a person who spent most of my career in marketing, I know that people always think they can do marketing, and so that expectation. So you need a website, an e-commerce platform that extends your brand online, that provides a high level of usability. And social media is an important part of your digital platform. Uh, Certainly, whether it's LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, those are things that you need to be considering when looking at an e-commerce solution. One point on social media: 75% of B2B buyers are influenced by social, and so the new B2B buyer is educated, and with social media, they don't need that face-to-face contact. Looking at platforms, YouTube or Vimeo are extremely important. Google ranks video content far higher than static content. So if you don't have videos, it's certainly something to be looking at as part of your overall digital strategy. And so what we're seeing today is that B2B e-commerce is reaching critical mass. It is here. It is the standard, and it is an expectation. Um, and a key term here, it's not just e-commerce that you have to look at. It's having this omni-channel approach. And what I mean by that is, as a customer, I expect to be able to transact with you online, maybe face to face, if you have retail outlets through retail, maybe through the phone. And so you need to be able to provide your clients with the same level of service regardless of what channel they reach out to you. Specifically, here we're talking about B2B e-commerce, but um, you need a solution that integrates with your ERP system, with your Sage system, so you can provide that true experience across all channels. And we're seeing a lot of growth because mobility is changing how we interact. So the ubiquity of mobility is today's reality. 56% of B2B is shifting online to online. And the mobility of employees and partners and customers is paramount. And when we talk mobility, we're not just talking about um, devices, so iPads and smartphones. We're also talking about accessibility. And many of you may have sales reps that are mobile, that are on the go. They need to be able to access information about their customer base to be able to understand what kind of transactions they've processed, be able to understand what orders are in play, outstanding invoices. And so being able to have that access to information, being able to provide your mobile sales force or mobile employees with access to information is critical. And more now we see telecommuting. We see more and more employers allow the staff to work remotely or work from home. And so that access to information becomes critical. And talking about mobility, responsive design is a must-have. And so how do you know if your site is responsive design? The fast and quick way is to grab your phone or your tablet and type in your domain name, type in your company URL to see how it renders on those devices. If it doesn't render well, very likely it is not well. It isn't a responsive design site. It's not leveraging, for example, HTML5. Responsive design is absolutely critical because it helps SEO, or search engine optimization ranking. Google, and we can talk about other search engines like Bing, but end of the day, it really starts and stops with Google. Google will rank responsive design sites higher than non-responsive design sites higher. And search engine optimization is critical from your digital strategy perspective. Often when we think of SEO, um, we think of a B2C, a business to consumer sites. But the reality is that SEO is critical. More than 70% of B2B buyers do research online before making a purchase decision. And so SEO becomes extremely important in terms of how you rank. And you need to make sure that any e-commerce solution you look at has built-in SEO capabilities to help with your natural search ranking. And what we see is over 68% of those surveyed in North America are accessing doing B2B online transactions either daily, weekly, or monthly via a smartphone or an iPad. So tablets and smartphones become a critical play in terms of your go-to-market, and that will only increase as people become more comfortable with those form factors. Another issue that's sort of driving the change in the B2B landscape and how B2C is impacting B2B is that buyers are becoming increasingly demanding. 94% want to know where and how to make an immediate purchase. So when they come to your site, if they have to go search for information, that's problematic. What you want, especially in B2B, and the beauty of B2B is that degree of personalization. So when I log in, it knows who I am, and you can tailor pricing at the individual level. And that is one of the promises of e-commerce is that you can tailor your experience to the individual customer. Maybe you've got some large customers when they log in, they have a landing page that's tailored to them specifically. It's got their brand images. It has a look and feel that's specific to that particular customer. Those are things you need to be able to do within your e-commerce solution so that you can have a high degree of retention and build a strong customer loyalty base. The other aspect of e-commerce is being able to tailor the experience, but also being able to allow a customer to go and easily find products. So, for example, being able to have saved carts or favorites, so when they go in, they don't have to go searching for products. They can go and find exactly what they want every time. This is really advantageous for those clients who order on a regular basis and generally order the same products each time. And so when they log in, they don't want to go searching for products. They can go find exactly what they want right away. And the reality is almost 50% will buy a competing product that was easier to purchase online. So if you make it difficult to purchase online, they will go somewhere else because the convenience factor is very high. And so if you make it difficult to make it challenging, or you offer a non-integrated solution, it is problematic. So a great example is you go on, your customer goes online, they order 10 products, and they think they place that order, but because we have a non-integrated solution, maybe there's only 4 available, and so they think they made the order. You've got to call them the next day saying, "I'm sorry, but that order didn't go through." That's a negative experience. That negative experience is going to have a lasting impact, and it's going to possibly cause them to go elsewhere. So when we look at the industry in B2C and B2B, one of the big change agents is Amazon. So while B2B is where the revenue is, B2C is what we call, as I mentioned, the tip of the spear. Because we're all consumers of technology, we expect the same level and quality of experience in our B2B transactions that we get with our B2C transactions. And Amazon, it really has become this agent of change, good or bad, depending on your perspective of the company, when it comes to how e-commerce and more broadly how technology is impacting how we interact with each other. And this is really known as the Amazon effect, where they are changing how they're really changing the landscape and expectations. And what's interesting about Amazon is it began in 1994 as an online bookseller. I mean, I think for those who are old enough, you'll remember that they launched as a selling online books like Chapters here in Canada or Barnes and Noble in the U.S. And today they're impacting nearly every facet of our daily life and our use of technology and our expectations of what technology can provide for us. So take, for example, grocery stores. In 2017, Amazon acquired Whole Foods, and in 2018 launched Amazon Go, whereby you can select your groceries, simply walk out the store. Um, and so that's completely changed the experience. And they're testing this in a few stores, but you walk in, you fill out your cart, and as you walk in, it scans and then charges your credit card. Now there are people who will be nervous about that and question some of the processes, but the reality is it's changing the shopping experience. And so while that's a B2C example, Amazon is certainly changing the supply chain methodology and it really is impacting every facet of business today. And technology, it's interesting when we look at the impact of technology and how businesses are adapting to technology. So this graph represents shareholder value from 2011 to 2018. The red line represents the second fastest growing company over that time period in terms of generating shareholder value. And often when I ask this question in person, I get the common answers, it's Netflix or it's Amazon or Google. And the reality is no one actually gets the question because the answer is Domino's Pizza. And I bring this up because it's another example of how B2C is impacting B2B. So when we think of Domino's, we don't think of it being a technology company or really being much in the way of just a pizza company. And whether the pizza is good or bad, I don't know. It's been a while since I've had Domino's. But the reality is they are growing rapidly because they've embraced technology as a means to conduct business. And today, more than 60% of Domino's orders are now executed on digital platforms rather than by phone. Now, they're still growing their retail outlets, so they have a very omni-channel approach. But Domino's actually refers to itself as a technology company, not a food services company or a pizza company. They view themselves as a technology company. And customers can order Domino's on the smartphone app, like many companies, or using Amazon's Echo speaker or online via Facebook. So, for an example, you're making dinner, you burn the casserole. What do? Well, you tell Amazon Echo you need to order two large pepperoni pizzas, and Amazon Echo knows your location and connects you sends your order to the closest Domino's, and your pizzas are being put together for you. And so, and this is an example of what they call the order tracker, where you can track the status of your how your pizza is being made and where it is and where it's going to be when it'll arrive. Very much like things like skip the dishes. And so this technology in B2C is dramatically changing how people are using technology, and some of this will bleed into the B2B space. We look at the screen here and you think, well, this is a pizza place, Stephen, what are you talking about? The reality is these are what we call variants. You think about if you have a chair, maybe you choose the color of a fabric or the height of the back. And so in B2B, many of your products will have either variants, so options, or have kits, and so putting different pieces together. And so this is an example in B2C, how they're using a kit or a variant to customize your experience, to customize your product. And this is the same expectation that you're going to see in the B2B space. And what's interesting about Domino's is they have rapidly embraced technology. They are looking at ways to leverage technology to have a competitive edge, to increase operating efficiencies, to drive incremental revenue, and improve the customer experience. This is an actual screenshot from the UK where they have been testing drone delivery for pizza. Now, as someone who grew up in the UK, I can tell you it rains a lot, so I'm not quite sure. That doesn't look like a waterproof pizza case. But anyway, I'm not sure how it works in the rain. But the reality is it's an example how they are embracing technology and using it to build their business and to be more efficient. And adopt new customers. So at the end of the day, what this is all about is e-commerce is more about than a shopping cart. It's not about picking product X, Y, and Z and putting it into a cart and then purchasing. It's all about the experience. Um, One thing is for sure that all roads lead to the web, and it has to be the foundation of your go-to-market efforts, whether those be B2C or B2B. And your partners will go elsewhere if the experience is not a good one. And in reality, that experience becomes more important than what you are selling. Sounds kind of strange, but the reality is that the experience that you provide your customers becomes more important than what you are selling. A good product is great. A bad experience is really poor. And a bad experience will make it very difficult for you to sell the great products that you have. And that experience is achieved through integration. You can only deliver a solid, robust online experience if your front end is fully integrated with your back end. There is no other way around it. A non-integrated e-commerce solution is not e-commerce. It's just a website. And many companies to this day have what we call flat file or brochureware sites that may have a product catalog, but it's not integrated. Or if it is integrated, they place an order, it's an email to a call center, and then they place the order. Think about that you have the number of orders that you could be getting online and having your employees entering those orders into your Sage system. There's a whole bunch of problems with that, both on the customer experience side and on the human error side. And that ERP integration is absolutely critical when it comes to delivering that experience. 85% believe of businesses surveyed in North America, 85% believe that ERP is important to the customer experience because they know that the ERP, your Sage system, is the foundation of your business. It is the platform upon which you built your business. And when you're looking at adjacent technologies, whatever they may be, EDI, e-commerce, HR solutions, warehousing solutions, the first and most important question you have to ask is, how does it integrate into my Sage system? That is the most important question. Because what you cannot afford to have is a multitude of different systems that don't work together. Because what you end up with is you end up with silos of information that just don't connect. And so businesses know that the ERP is really the holy grail in terms of customer experience. So the challenge for you and the challenge for any business is, how do you get that business logic that you've built into your Sage system? How do you extend that to the front office, to the real world? How do you get that? How do you unlock that business logic and apply it to the front office? 60% believe integration with the back office is a key initiative. And so in 2020, 60% of companies view integration with back office as a key initiative for them to drive incremental revenue and reduce operating efficiencies. And it's really, as I said, it's about unlocking or extending that logic to the digital world. And 40% of B2B buyers want more integration. Now, they may not know what that entails, but they know that integration means accuracy of information. It means a better overall experience, that when they go onto your site, onto your e-commerce platform, it'll show them stock availability. It'll have accurate pricing that's specific to their account. That's what they need. That's what they expect. And that's what you need to deliver when looking at an e-commerce solution. So what's critical for your integrated B2B e-commerce solution? You need to be able to replicate your Sage business logic. Sage is the heartbeat of your business. It's the foundation. You need to replicate the logic that you built into your Sage system and extend that to the digital world. You need to have an easy-to-navigate, intuitive product catalogs, people who can go in. And so when you're looking at your product catalogs, they've got to be organized, not how you think they should be organized, but organized how your customers would look for them. If you make it difficult for them to navigate, they're going to get frustrated. Frustration leads to a negative experience. You need access to real-time information. And so your customers need to be able to go online and know exactly what stock is available. How do you handle same-day shipping if you have out-of-stock items? Making sure that the pricing is accurate. For example, do you have a product unit of measures? Do you have a system where you look at uh, 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 over a certain price, it's free shipping? All those things need to be considered when looking at e-commerce. You need to be able to provide complex pricing, personalized and simplified. And the beauty of B2B e-commerce is, unlike B2C, you can provide that level of personalization at the customer level. And the reality is, B2B e-commerce is far more complex than B2C. B2C is actually quite simple because the pricing is the same for all people who access the site. There's no special pricing. B2B, there is tailored pricing, and maybe you have different tiers of customers. And so you need to be able to provide that personalized experience in order to build and retain customer loyalty. And you need to be able to provide 24/7 client focus. You need to be able to provide a solution that operates 24/7 with limited stress on your own operations. So let's talk briefly about Commerce Build. So Commerce Build, as I'd mentioned at the top of the session, was formerly known as XM Developments Sage eCommerce. Same company, same product. We just went through a rebrand. Commerce Build, um, it's certified by Sage, and so we went through a number of steps with Sage to verify our integration, depth of integration with Sage 300 and Sage X3. That certification means we have access to their roadmap. They have access to ours, and so we can compare notes to make sure that as we evolve our product, it's keeping in line or in step with the evolution of the Sage product as well. And what we do is we intelligently replicate the complex business data that you've built into your Sage ERP system. So all that knowledge that you have, we extend that to the digital world. And we allow you to deliver your customers the complete end-to-end digital experience, and allowing you also to maximize your Sage investment. So as simple as you make a price change in Sage 300 X3, that automatically populates on the Commerce Build platform. Orders that are placed in Commerce Build flow directly into the your Sage system. And Commerce Build is a SaaS solution, so software as a service. And we get that question a bit about SaaS versus on-prem. For many of you, on-prem can be an expensive proposition. You have to have service, and you have to have IT support staff to maintain it. Software as a service is certainly where all technology is going, and those who read the Sage literature will know that that's a direction they're moving into as well. But SaaS really is a better solution for pretty much every business. From our perspective, with SaaS, we're constantly investing at the platform. We do release schedules every 2 weeks. So every 2 weeks, there's new functionality, new features being released onto the platform that all customers have access to. We've access to enterprise level technology. The Commerce Build platform is hosted in the Google Cloud. And as you upgrade to new versions of Sage 300 or Sage X3, we're able to seamlessly upgrade Commerce Build as well. When you upgrade to a new version of Sage 300, as quite a few of our clients are doing, it's about a 45-minute process on our end, working with you to switch from your current version to the next version of Sage. And most importantly, because we're SaaS, there is no hardware costs in our pricing. So there's no hardware costs for you. There's no capex costs. It's all services and software. And part of the part of what we look at from a Commerce Build perspective is, there's the platform, and it really is the gateway. So we integrate with Sage to have that tight integration in terms of order processing and functionality, but we also integrate with a number of other stores, other companies such as Amazon, Google Cloud, Elasticsearch, WordPress, Slider Revolution, Mailchimp. We connect with a whole host of payment gateways and shipping carriers around the globe. We're doing over $1 billion in annual transactions on the platform. There's over 1 million unique users and over 1 million SKUs being operated on the platform. We have clients that have range from 300-400 SKUs to well over 100,000 SKUs. So the platform is very scalable in terms of its growth. And as we continue to build out the solution, we continue to integrate with more digital companies to expand the capabilities of the Commerce Build platform. So let's take a minute and look at the solutions portfolio. As I mentioned, it is a SaaS solution. It's a B2B solution as well as a B2C solution. So Commerce Build B2B, it's a highly scalable, performance-based B2B e-commerce solution that replicates that customer-specific pricing logic that you built into your Sage ERP system, providing your customers with real-time inventory reporting from your Sage ERP system. And because it's in the cloud, if there is a connection problem, so for example, if you have a power outage and your Sage system goes down, Commerce Build continues to operate. Those orders continue to go through, and then when the reconnection is made between your Sage ERP system and Commerce Build, all those orders will flow through. So an outage or downtime for you is not doesn't negatively impact your online platform. As I mentioned earlier, it's a flexible design. I'll show some examples of design in a bit, but it's an SEO-centric template to allow you to maximize search engine optimization. And then we integrate with a number of third-party solutions to expand your offering. The same platform is also B2C. So most of our customers are B2B. I would say 90% of our customers are B2B and about 10% are B2C. And in those cases, and we're seeing more of it, those customers offer B2C and B2B. And so when you come to the website, there's B2C, standard pricing for anyone. And then if they log in, they have tailored pricing specific to their account. So same platform, same solution. But we just offer a B2C component as well. But we are predominantly a B2B e-commerce platform. So all the benefits that we have with B2B, we also offer on the B2C platform as well. We also offer a sales portal that offers your sales reps with anywhere, anytime access. So a common use case for our clients is our sales reps. They have sales reps on the road, they're regional based, and they're going to meet with the clients, and they want to be able to go in and log in to see what orders they placed over the last period of time, any outstanding invoices, did they have anything that's on back order, and so that gives them real-time access into their accounts and being able to see the status of their customers, being able to manage back orders, and being able to push things through on behalf of clients. So a rep can place an order or orders on behalf of their clients. And so it basically becomes a sales tool for your reps to be able to increase their productivity and being able to provide a real-time access to customer account information. It's a really popular tool for many of our clients. We also have a customer portal, very similar, and it basically allows online real-time access for your customers. So it's a subset of the B2B e-commerce platform where they can go in and see account information. They can access the invoices, be able to download invoices, make payments, determine credit status, pay invoices online. So it's a subset of the B2B piece where they can go in and be able to look at all the orders and see their entire account online without having to phone you. And so providing your customers with control and a consolidated view of all their transactions. And the nice thing about, because Commerce Build connects with the Sage 300 system, this view, and same with the B2B solution, the view isn't just the e-commerce channel. The view is holistic. So if a customer is placing orders over the telephone, they're placing orders online, they get to see the entire history, transaction history, not just those orders they placed online. And that goes back to my earlier comment about omni-channel. You want to provide the same level of service and experience across all channels, not just one. And so it also for those sales reps, it also gets they can see everything that customer has done as opposed to no, not just the online channel. And finally, we have a payment solution. This is specifically for Sage 300, and it provides our customers with a secure and reliable credit card payment processing. Um, two of the big challenges with any e-commerce solution would be shipping and payments. And so this is a way to, for those who are in finance, be able to handle batch individual processing, being able to issue refunds and credit notes, handling pre-authorization. Um, and so it allows many of our customers who use Sage 300 with the faster, more efficient payment processing while reducing overhead costs. When we look at integration, this is a standard a product page for one of our clients. And you'll see on the screen here, there's lots of different information. Some of this information is fed directly from the Sage system. So, for example, the stopwatch, the product name, the SKU, the vendor part number, the description, the price, if there was stock information, that's all fed directly from Sage 300 or X3. So if you change the price, it changes in real time on this page. If you change the multifunction stopwatch customized with AHA logo, if you change that description in Sage, it'll change on the commercebuild platform in real time. Information that is loaded up into commercebuild, product images, and more detailed product descriptions and specifications. So this is more marketing information. commercebuild has a built-in content management system, or CMS, and so you can go in and upload all this information. It's a WYSIWYG, what you see is what you get solution, allows you to easily manage content. So content comes from two sources. It comes from Sage 300, and it comes from within the system itself. So quickly looking at customer success, the promise of e-commerce is twofold. One is to drive operating efficiencies, and two is to drive incremental revenue. You'll all get a copy of this session, so I won't read this verbatim, but you'll see the common themes here is that once you start using commercebuild, more and more of your business is driven online, and that's just a natural evolution of technology and e-commerce. And so because of the integration with your Sage system and being able to get that business logic out of Sage onto the commercebuild platform, it allows you to provide a superior customer experience, and allows you to drive more revenue through the online channel, which then allows you to take that staff who are taking those phone orders to redeploy them to work on other mission critical initiatives within your business. And we have customers around the globe. Majority of our business is out of North America, but we have customers in Africa, Europe, and Australia, New Zealand, as well as North America. And I talked earlier about experience and brand, and as a person who spent 20 years in marketing, I appreciate the importance of experience. And when we talk brand really is about experience. And so the commercebuild platform, it's a template-driven platform, but with a high degree of flexibility to extend your brand online. E-commerce is really about being able to transact online, being able to provide a great experience. That experience is driven through integration, but the experience is also driven through what we call information architecture, or the user experience, the layout of the page. And so some examples of flexibility that we offer our clients in terms of look and feel to allow them to extend their brand online. We also commercebuild is multilingual, and so we operate in multiple languages. We have quite a few clients out of Quebec that operate both in French and English, which is easily done within the content management system. So finally, excuse me, we'll talk a little bit about onboarding. So we talked about The importance of B2B e-commerce. We talked about how B2C or business to consumer e-commerce is changing, how B2B operations are impacted, and how integration is critical. But also, when you're looking at a technology project, they can be very daunting. It can be very challenging to bring on a new technology project. So often they go over budget, they go over time. And so that can be a real concern for any business, because what you can't afford to do is take your eye off the ball. You can't afford to be distracted by internal projects that are going to impact revenue or your operations, or provide a negative experience. So we have from an onboarding perspective, we have a fast track model, and what fast track does is it is able to transform your Sage 300 X3 system into an integrated e-commerce solution in 60 days. We have a 5-step process, which I'll talk about briefly, but fast track is designed to take the risk out of disruptions in your day-to-day operations. Fast track means low risk to your business. We handle the bulk of the work on the onboarding process. And we build out your e-commerce solution for you and train you on your final solution. There's minimal time and effort. In many cases, there's about, over the course of 60 days, there's about 20 to 25 hours of your time that's required in terms of providing us content and providing and doing testing, but minimal time. We do the work so you can focus on your business. And because we can get you to market faster, you can achieve fast ROI. You can get to market much quicker with an e-commerce solution. And how we work the fast track is, the first step is plan. So we work with you at the very beginning to understand all of your e-commerce requirements, your tax requirements, your shipping requirements, payment gateway information, design requirements. So at the very beginning, we create a scope document that details everything that your e-commerce solution is supposed to look like. That becomes really the blueprint for the next 60 days in terms of delivering you an integrated e-commerce solution. Once we have that document done, we work with your IT person or consultant to connect commercebuild with your Sage X3 or 300 system. That connection allows basically the flow of information from commercebuild into Sage 300 or from Sage X3 300 back into commercebuild. Then we build out your storefront, and that's when we start to make it look like your store. So your design criteria, your information architecture in terms of the products that you have. So we build out your platform, build out your store. And once that's complete, then we do what we call a test or user acceptance testing. And that's to make sure that everything we talked about in step 1 in the plan is done properly in the testing, so that you can make sure that everything we agreed on is delivered as part of that user acceptance testing. And then once we have signed off on testing, then we move to launch. And that go live date depends on you. We will be ready in 60 days or less for you, and then you decide when you want to go live. There's some things you need to consider. For example, if you have an existing website, we need to make sure that the 301 redirects are put in place. That means that any pages that were pointing to the old site redirect to the new site or to specific pages, so you don't lose any of that good search engine optimization work that you may have done. We make sure that the DNS is set up, and then we flip the switch. And then you have a fully integrated e-commerce solution. And what we do say is, step 5 or launch is not the beginning of the project. That's the start of your e-commerce experience. And so, as we've shown in the session today, e-commerce or technology is constantly changing, and so you need a solution that is going to scale with your business as it grows. A solution that's going to allow you to maximize e-commerce, or maximize the value out of e-commerce to help grow your business and be successful and deliver a quality customer experience. So finally, so why commercebuild? One, when we've covered this off in the session today, is an intelligent replication of your business logic, and that's really the crux of it. We get that logic that you built into Sage that in many cases has spent years building, and get it and extend it to the digital world. commercebuild is purpose-built for Sage. We only work with Sage. We don't work with other ERP vendors. We work specifically with Sage. And so our solution is purpose built for Sage, being able to replicate the capabilities of Sage online. We allow you to do real-time orders and payment integration with Sage. As I mentioned, we're certified by Sage. We're the only e-commerce vendor in the world that's certified by Sage. We help you drive incremental revenue by providing you with digital marketing capabilities to um, increase your average order value, being able to add things like quick order, where your customers can go in and order the same product every time, or products with a great deal of ease. It's cost effective. We get you online in 60 days, so you can achieve faster ROI and start embracing e-commerce quickly. Seamless upgrades, because we're a cloud solution. There's no impact in terms of you. If you upgrade to a new Sage system, let us know. We work with you or your business partner. We work with BAS, and we do lots of that for BAS. It's about 45 minutes to switch, and really no impact to your business. And we do that after hours, so there's no impact to your customers. And then we help you streamline business processes by having orders flow directly into your Sage system. Your staff, who maybe was taking those orders, are now free to work on other projects within your business. And so from start to finish, we get you a fully integrated e-commerce solution in 60 days. Want to learn more about commercebuild? There's the requisite social media links and our blog, which has lots of cool information about the emerging trends of e-commerce. And there's my contact info. I think we've got a few minutes for questions, but that's my contact info. Feel free to reach out to me anytime if you have additional questions, or reach out to your BAS rep. We'd be happy to arrange a more detailed demonstration of the capabilities of commercebuild and how it can help extend your Sage business online. So with that, I do thank you for your time and attention. Hope you found the session informative. And I'll available to answer any questions for the next 10 minutes. Otherwise, have a great afternoon. Marcel, I'll hand it back to you.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you very much. So if anyone does have any questions, please type them into the chat box. And Stephen, we do have a couple of questions at this point. So the first one is regarding pricing. So what would the standard pricing look like?
So pricing is a good question. Pricing is, because we're a SaaS solution, it's basically services and software. So there is a license fee, which is around $15,000, and that's to get the site connected. Our onboarding, the 60 days, is around about $12,000 of service time to get you from no integrated e-commerce to a fully integrated e-commerce site. And then hosting will vary. It depends on the volume of business being transacted. But the starting price is per month is around $750.
Okay, perfect. And what are some of the common challenges when it comes to implementing B2B e-commerce?
Yeah, so there's a couple of challenges. There's one challenge is around just getting content organized, and this is where Fast Track really comes in to help. Well, you know your business really well. We know e-commerce well, and so we can help you organize your thoughts and how to structure your site. Often what happens is clients don't know how to proceed with e-commerce, and so what they're doing is, how do I structure my site? And that's an easy way to use. Or maybe because they haven't had e-commerce before, they don't have pictures of their products. And so one challenge certainly is getting organized in terms of content, in terms of product descriptions, in terms of images for those products, and having those images web ready so they look good on the website. The other challenges come around the areas of shipping, tax, and payment gateways. So many of our B2B clients will do on account, and that really is the most simple, and I highly recommend it if you're looking at e-commerce on account. It's easier. You've got trusted relationship with your clients. Um, where it does get tricky is where we get into various shipping aspects. So we have clients, for example, who they sell pipe, and they want to it's a price per meter, or price per yard, or price per centimeter. And so there definitely is some algorithms that need to be thought of when building out the e-commerce solution, because when we're building out an e-commerce solution, in effect, it's a self-service platform, and so we need to make sure that when your customers come to the website, that it's logical and easy for them to understand. One quick example: we have a client who sells fresh produce, and they sell it. Um, it's priced by kilo, but that's not how people don't order it by kilo. They order by unit, and so we had to do some quick math to allow the customers online to order by unit number. So I want 5 units of this particular product, and then be able to convert that into kilos, because in Sage they had pricing by kilo. So when we do the first part on the plan, those are the important questions we get at. How is your content organized? And let's talk about that. Let's talk about how you handle shipping and payments and tax. For those of you on the call who are either based in the United States or ship into states, there is some complex tax systems down there. So we deal with those right at the beginning of the process, so that they don't, so we can understand them and plan for those during the onboarding process.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Stephen, and have a great day, everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.